Good day, everyone. We will present our topic about climate change. But before that, I will read the learning objective. At the end of this lesson, the student should be able to identify the causes of climate change, understand the effect of climate change to the society, and illustrate how the community helps in mitigating the hazard caused by climate change. Introduction. The Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, or IPCC, reports that the Earth's climate has changed significantly over the past century, largely due to human activities. The IPCC reported that the Earth's climate has changed mainly because of human actions, like burning fossil fuels like coal, oil, gas for energy, and deforestation, which increase greenhouse gases and trap more heat in the atmosphere. If this continues, the global temperature could rise by 1 degree Celsius to 3.5 degrees Celsius by 2100, resulting in serious environmental and societal impacts. If temperature goes beyond 2 degrees Celsius, the risks become much worse, including stronger and longer heat waves. The global temperature should not rise more than 1.5 degrees Celsius above the all average. Beyond that, the impact becomes very serious for people, ecosystems, and the planet. Climate change refers to long-term shifts in weather patterns caused by both natural processes and human action or anthropogenic causes such as pollution and land use changes. Even small increases in temperature can greatly affect life on Earth. According to the IPCC, even small increases in global temperature can already cause serious effect. This lesson explores the causes and effect of climate change on society.
Good day, everyone. One of the natural causes of climate change is volcanic eruptions. Volcanic eruptions are a natural cause of climate change because they release gases and ash that block sunlight and temporarily cool the earth. Kapag daw pumuputok ang bulkan, it releases gases like carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide at volcanic ash papunta sa atmosphere. Ang mga particles na ito ay nakakaharang sa sikat ng araw kaya bumababa ang temperatura ng Earth for about 1 to 2 years. Major eruptions like Mount Tambora, Krakatau, and Pinatubo cause global cooling and affected weather and food production. Okay, these are the examples. Mount Tambora in Indonesia erupted in 1816 and it caused what we call the year without a summer. During that time, the global temperature dropped, nasira ang mga pananim at nagkaroon ng kakulangan sa pagkain. Another example is Mount Krakatau in 1883 and Mount Pinatubo here in Philippines in 1991, which also caused a global cooling effect. In short, volcanic eruptions affect the climate by releasing gases and ash that reflect sunlight, resulting in temporary cooling and changes in weather patterns.
Hi everyone, today I'm going to talk about orbital changes and the Milankovitch theory. Orbital changes. Earth's orbit can influence climate change as explained by the Milankovitch theory, which states that variations in three elements of Earth, sun geometry, eccentricity, obliquity, and precession affect the amount of solar energy reaching Earth. So basically, this theory explains how changes in Earth's orbit, which is the shape, tilt, and movement of the Earth, affect our climate over long periods of time. So there are three main factors that cause these changes. So these are the eccentricity or the shape of Earth's orbit, obliquity, the tilt of Earth's axis, and precession, the wobble of Earth's axis. Let's talk about the eccentricity. Refers to the shape of Earth's orbit around the sun and changes in a cycle of about 98,000 years. When Earth's orbit is more elliptical, the difference in solar energy between perihelion, closest to the sun, and aphelion, farthest, becomes greater. This affects the intensity of seasons. If perihelion occurs during winter, winters are milder, and if it occurs during summer, summers are warmer. So, to explain this, when we say eccentricity, we are talking about what? The shape of Earth's orbit or path around the sun. Sometimes it's almost round and sometimes is a little oval, meaning stretch out. When the orbit becomes oval, the distance between the Earth and the sun changes. This means when Earth is closer to the sun, we get hotter seasons. And when it's farther, the seasons are milder. So next is obliquity. Obliquity is the tilt of Earth's axis, which varies over 40,000 years. A greater tilt causes more extreme seasons, hotter summers, and colder winters, while a smaller tilt results in milder seasonal differences. So, when we say obliquity, we mean the tilt of Earth's axis. The axis is like the invisible line Earth spins around. When the tilt is bigger, the seasons become more extreme. That's when summer gets hotter and winters get colder. But when the tilt is smaller, the seasons are not too different from each other. And lastly, we have precession. Precession is the slow wobble or change in the direction of Earth's axis, occurring every 19,000 to 23,000 years. It alters the timing of perihelion, or closest to the sun, and aphelion, farthest from the sun, which can intensify seasons in one hemisphere while reducing them in the other. Precession also causes the position of the North Star to change over time from Thuban in ancient times to Polaris today. When we say precession, we are more likely talking about the slow wobble of Earth's axis. It's like when you spin a top and slowly moves from side to side. This wobble changes the timing of when Earth is closest or farthest from the sun. Because of this, one side or the Earth can have stronger seasons while the other has milder seasons. Although the theory lost support in the 1940s to 1950s due to dating inconsistencies, it was later revived in the late 1960s and continues to play an important role in understanding long term climate patterns. So, even though the theory lost support, it was later revived in 1960s because this theory really plays an important role when it comes in long-term climate patterns. So overall, eccentricity, obliquity, and precession work together to change how much sunlight Earth gets, which affects our seasons and climate over a long time. Thank you.
The carbon dioxide theory. Una, carbon dioxide is added when power and heat are produced by burning coal, oil, and other fossil fuels. Ang carbon dioxide ay nagdadagdag sa hangin kapag nagsusunog tayo ng coal, oil at iba pang fossil fuels. Para gumawa ng kuryente o init, ibig sabihin tuwing gumagamit tayo ng mga sasakyan, pabrika o planta na nagsusunog ng fuel, tumataas ang dami ng carbon dioxide sa atmosphere, kaya malaking bahagi ito ng global warming. Pangalawa, carbon dioxide is transparent to sunshine but
not invisible to infrared heat radiation leaving the ground. Ang carbon dioxide ay hindi nakikita pero pinapadaan nito ang sikat ng araw papunta sa lupa. Ngunit hindi ito pinapalabas agad ang init. Infrared radiation na galing sa lupa pabalik sa kalawakan. Parang sinasala niya ang init kaya nagkakaroon ng epekto na parang may takip ang mundo. Pangatlo, the carbon dioxide absorbs part of the infrared radiation in the air and returns it to the ground, keeping the air near the surface warmer than it would be it if the carbon dioxide did not act like a blanket. Kapag andyan ang carbon dioxide, sinisipsip nito ang parte ng init sa hangin at ibinabalik sa lupa. Dahil dito, nananatiling mas mainit ang paligid kumpara sa kung wala itong carbon dioxide. Parang kumot ang epekto ng carbon dioxide, pinapanatili nitong mainit ang hangin malapit sa lupa. Last, double the carbon dioxide raises the temperature to 2 degrees Celsius to 3 degrees Celsius. Kung madodoble ang dami ng carbon dioxide sa atmosphere, tataas na ang temperatura ng mundo ng 2 degrees Celsius hanggang 3 degrees Celsius. Kahit mukhang maliit lang na bilang, malaking epekto ito sa klima, panahon at sa kalikasan. Pwede nitong magdulot ng mas matinding bagyo, tagtuyot at pagkatunaw ng yelo sa mga popular regions.
Now, let's go on to human activities. Human activities contribute to climate change. The largest known contribution comes from the burning of fossil fuels, which releases carbon dioxide gas to the atmosphere. So, the largest known contribution it comes from the burning of fossil fuel, like when we burn coal, oil, and natural gas for electricity, transportation, or factories. It releases carbon dioxide, the main greenhouse gas that traps heat in the atmosphere. Greenhouse gases and aerosols. What is that? Greenhouse gases are gases like carbon dioxide, methane, and water vapor that trap heat in the Earth's atmosphere, keeping the planet warm. And the aerosols are tiny particles or droplets in the air from the sources like volcanoes, factories, or vehicle exhaust. Greenhouse gases and aerosols affect climate by altering incoming solar radiation and outgoing infrared thermal radiation that are part of Earth's energy balance. It means that greenhouse gases and aerosols change how heat and sunlight move in and out of Earth's atmosphere. To highlight, greenhouse gases trap more heat, making the Earth warmer. Aerosols can reflect sunlight back into space or absorb heat, which can cool, or warm the atmosphere. So, these two affect the Earth's energy balance. Changing the atmospheric abundance or properties of these gases and particles can lead to a warming or cooling of the climate system. Since the start of the industrial era, about 1750, the overall effect of human activities on climate has been a warming influence. The human impact on climate during this era greatly exceeds that due to known changes in natural processes such as solar changes and volcanic eruptions. The industrial era or industrial revolution refers to the time when people began using machines, factories, and new energy sources like coal and steam to produce goods instead of making them by hand. It started around 1750 in Britain and then spread to the other countries, which also started the rise of human made greenhouse gases that affect Earth's climate. Human activities result in emission of four principal greenhouse gases: carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxide, and halocarbons, a group of gases containing fluorine, chlorine, and bromine. Greenhouse gases are naturally present in the atmosphere, but their excessive levels caused by human activities intensify the greenhouse effect. Greenhouse gases are naturally present in the atmosphere because they come from natural processes on Earth. For example, water vapor, carbon dioxide, methane. However, human activities like burning fossil fuels, coal, oil, gas, cutting down trees, causes excessive levels of greenhouse gases, trapping too much heat and leading to global warming and climate change. Carbon dioxide increases through fossil fuel use in transportation, industry, and deforestation, while methane emissions come from agriculture, landfills, and natural gas distribution. Nitrous oxide is released through fertilizer application and fuel combustion. Nitrous oxide is a greenhouse gas released mainly from fertilizers in farming and fuel burning in engines and industries, both adding heat-trapping gases to the atmosphere. Halocarbons. Halocarbons are man-made gases used in cooling and industrial products that can warm the planet and harm the ozone layer if released into the air. Particularly, chlorofluorocarbons or CFCs are man-made gases that damage the ozone layer and trap heat in the atmosphere. It once widely used in refrigeration and industry, contributed to ozone depletion, though their levels are now declining due to the global environmental regulations. Ozone is another greenhouse gas that is continually produced and destroyed in the atmosphere by chemical reactions. In the troposphere, human activities have increased ozone through release of gases such as carbon monoxide, hydrocarbons, and nitrogen oxide, which chemically react to produce ozone. Ang ozone ay isang greenhouse gas na natural na bahagi ng ating atmosfera. Patuloy itong nabubuo at nasisira dahil sa mga reaksyong kemikal na nagaganap sa hangin, lalo na kapag tinamaan ng liwanag ng araw. Sa troposphere, ang pinakamababang bahagi ng atmosfera, tumataas ang dami ng ozone dahil sa mga gawain ng tao gaya ng usok ng sasakyan, pagsusunog ng gasolina, at mga gawaing industriyal. Kapag nagsama-sama sa hangin ang mga gas tulad ng carbon monoxide, hydrocarbons, at nitrogen oxide, nagre-react ang mga ito sa mga sikat ng araw at nabubuo ang ozone. Bagamat mahalaga ang ozone sa tamang antas, ang sobrang dami nito sa troposphere ay nagdudulot ng polusyon, nakakasama sa mga baga at kalusugan ng tao at may epekto rin sa pag-init ng klima. Aerosol made up of tiny particles from both natural and human sources have risen due to fossil fuel and biomass burning, industrial activities, and mining, contributing sulfur compounds, organic matter, soot, and dust to the atmosphere. To address ozone depletion, the Montreal Protocol was adopted on September 16, 1986 to control the production and use of harmful chemicals. Ang aerosols ay binubuo ng maliliit na particle o butil na nanggagaling sa likas na pinagmulan at gawa ng tao, tulad ng pagsusunog ng fossil fuel, biomass, at mga gawaing pang-industriya. Kapag napunta ito sa himpapawid, nagdadala ito ng mga kemikal gaya ng sulfur compounds, alikabok at usok na nakakadagdag sa polusyon sa hangin at nakakaapekto sa kalagayan ng klima at kalusugan ng tao. Dahil sa mga ganitong epekto, Nilagdaan ang Montreal Protocol noong September 16, 1986. Layunin nitong kontrolin at bawasan ang paggawa at paggamit ng mga mapanganib na kemikal, lalo na iyong mga nakakasira sa ozone layer, na mahalaga sa pagsala ng mapinsalang ultraviolet rays mula sa araw.
Moving on the effects of climate change in society. Okay, climate change. In general, it harms people, animals, and the environment by causing rising sea levels, extreme weather, floods, droughts, and the spread of diseases. It means guys that climate change affects people, tayo, animals, and the environment in many different ways. And also dahil sa pagtaas ng global temperature, natutunaw ang mga glacier at tumataas ang sea level kaya nagkakaroon ng baha sa mga coastal areas. It also threatens plants, animals, and those who depend on farming and fishing for their livelihood. For example is, it causes extreme weather, mas malalakas na typhoons, heatwaves, droughts at heavy rains na nakakasira ng mga bahay, pananim at kabuhayan ng mga tao. Apektado rin ang mga farmers and fishermen natin dahil sa nawawalang ani at kaunting huli ng isda. Habang ang mga sakit tulad ng malaria at dengue ay mas mabilis kumalat dahil sa mainit na klima. Climate change also threatens plants and animals, leading to extinction and loss of biodiversity. Overall, it affects our livelihood, health, and safety. Kaya napakahalaga na alagaan natin ang ating kapaligiran at maging responsable sa mga gawain natin.
Thus, summary. Climate change is a worldwide issue that we have to face. Climate change is referred as statistically significant climate variation persisting for an extended period of time. The continuous climate change could bring drastic effect to living and non-living form on Earth. Climate change is brought by several factors like natural processes and persistent human activities. Global warming is one of the major effects of climate change. Global warming threatens all life forms on Earth. It has drastic effects on water availability, food source, health issues, land use, and ecosystem.